wheel, a lighter car, and there's actually a disadvantage. You take a penalty for running a Corvette in particular due to the frontal area and the underbody aero.
Christian Aranha to the top of the board on debut here at Carolina Motorsports Park, a 143.383. Here's James Cather's P5. Cathers actually does have a race win. It's not saying that that car isn't already legal, or that he wasn't not attempting to be, but it always makes you question. That's a fast car for being so new, right?
It's kind of tough. And one thing you probably don't have access to is the Gridlife dyno, which may not show the same numbers as some other dynos or something like that.
Right.
And just all the specifics of, well, maybe my weight wasn't exactly where I thought it would be, too much fuel, too little fuel. There's a lot of things that you need to consider.
Subaru's out there as well. But, jumping on the brakes for turn one. That's Kyle Hale that he's side by side with for the moment. But Aranha, Catil, Magnussen, and Eric Jensen up to fourth place. Great run there for Jensen. Barbado, Mendez, Cathers. You see some new names in this mix, and that's great to see. The 610 as well. Ben Swanson up into ninth place. That's a new name in GLTC, IBOT GLTC competition.
Carlos last season was really fighting a lot of suspension issues on his E90 and just kind of fought it all season. Started getting a little better for him at the end of the year, but he thinks he's got that all solved, and I would say the times are kind of showing that with that 145.3 that he's already posted on the board. I expect to see a lot from him this season.
Now that we've had about 10 minutes under our belt here, you're seeing a lot more spreading out, and I think we're seeing drivers shuffle around on the ticker a lot more at this point, just because they've got room to lay down their best time. See offline there, a little bit of water still there, but the dry line is dry, and I think now we're seeing those times in the 42s as we anticipated.
Absolutely, yeah. Back in the 42s, that's pretty much the fastest times we've seen. I think the 42.0 is the fastest we've seen in practice, and Catil is really reeling that back in, and then Aranha back at it.
Immediately back to the top again. So Christian Aranha and Catil, bare knuckle brawl there at the top of the ticker for now. Side of Christian Aranha, the number 57. Then it's Eric Magnussen in the 330 alongside him. Eric Catil in the 82 starts in fourth. Then it's Eric Jensen in the number 184 starting in fifth alongside Nicholas Barbado in the number 49. It's a white BMW that starts in sixth. Then it's Peter Zhang, the red Turn-In Concepts FRS. That's an LS swap car. He starts in seventh. And Daniel Giraldo, the number 440 Lexus, starts in eighth. Carlos Mendez with his BMW starts in ninth place. Joshua Rubenstein, a strong qualifying effort for him in 10th. And it's Joel Morrison, bright green S2000, won't miss it. Pace cars off, time to go racing. Here we go. IBOT Gridlife Touring Cup action from Carolina Motorsports Park. The first race of the season is underway, and we're green flag racing in IBOT GLTC. 3 wide in the midfield on the run down to turn number 1. Matan Rosenberg edges ahead of Christian Aranha, but they're side by side through one, Kevin.
Almost 4 wide at one point, and I see everybody coming through cleanly. This is exactly what we're hoping for. We want to just have good, clean racing, and it can all be lost in that first turn. It's amazing to see that done.
Beautifully done for the entire field. Now they're heading to turn number 4. Rosenberg leads the way. Catil has muscled his way to second. Aranha's down a couple of spots now, getting just absolutely hounded by Nick Barbado now. Giraldo side by side with Zhang, and then through 5 and 6. It gets tight here in the Triple Apex right-hander.
That's absolutely the strategy that Matan was looking for. He wanted that clear air up front. It's hard to really control that car and get maximum pace out of it. He wants to break away from the pack like he's done. And Catil, though, has built some space right in there as well. The 3 cars up front with Magnussen as well, and they've just started to walk away.
Into turn 8 now, another pinch point here. Fast corner entry. Everything looks beautiful so far. Actually,